Yeah, mine on?
You're on.
Yay!
For about 56 seconds. So flying in boots, Dawson station with shuttle fish. And I'm not gonna lie, it's a good looking bike. From the side.
He doesn't like my headlight. I like it.
That's got its own cooling duct, isn't it?
It's a heat sink.
Heat thing. So dissipator.
Yeah.
Lights are so bright.
Because it goes so fast, it gets really hot on the front.
So it is.
The air resistance, yeah.
Fast.
Friction of the air.
The earth, isn't it? It gets really hot. You need to get some space shuttle stuff.
So I'm with Mr. Kent today. Going up to Wales again. Hooray! It is wet though. The day started off a little bit discombobulated side. Stopped at the fuel station to fill up just before I left, and obviously to get to my fuel tank I had to take this little beastie off here, and the ground was wet and oily. I thought, oh, I'll just stick it on the back of my pannier here, and anyway, so my first attempt to fill up was a disaster. Basically, I picked up the wrong pump nozzle and then I had to replace it. Then I had to put my card back in to do pay at pump again, and it threw me a little bit. So when I eventually filled up, took my card back, put it away in my pocket, rode off, and I rode from Tesco's in Columpton maybe 200 yards onto a mini roundabout, turn left onto the slip for the M5. Going down the slip, I thought, my tank bag, shit. Anyway, I turned around, looked, and there it was, rolling down the slip. It was amazing. That actually stayed on the bike. And I overtook a load of traffic, probably got up to about 20 miles an hour, and it had stayed there until I got on the slip, and then it rolled off. And my GoPro, my phone, a load of other bits and pieces, 2 GoPros. So I pulled up on the hard shoulder, got it in neutral, got off, started walking up, and a car came, saw it, avoided it. It's right in the middle of a slip road, and the truck starts coming down. I'm thinking, oh my god, it gets squashed. Anyway, so I ran up the slip, stop, arms out. The truck had seen it, and basically he slowed down and stopped, so to hold the traffic up behind him so I could pick my bag up. Very kind person. Oh, what a way to start. Anyways, I picked it up. I think the only thing that had happened, I hadn't zipped it up here, so my screen or visor cleaner basically bottle handle had broken, but apart from that all was good, so I stuck it back on the bike and rode to meet Mark, Mr. Kent. But what a way to start my mini holiday to Wales. And I am so if there's any mistakes to be made, Nicholas will make it, but I think the important thing, like I said to Mark, is the most important thing is to be gentle on yourself about these things and not to beat yourself up about it, because that only makes it worse, you know, compounds it. So, oh. A bit of a quicker pace with Mark. So that's to crack on. When I'm with Malcolm in the Roger and Jez, the pace is a lot slower. Everyone's different. I think, like I was saying earlier, we all have our own speed that we like to travel at. It's the speed that just keeps you on the sort of excited and stimulated without scaring the Jesus out of you. So it's going to be interesting, I think, this trip. Even though I know Mark, I don't know him that well. We've known each other for quite a few years. Been on one trip with him, just down to Land's End, Cornwall. Good. Met him through ROSPA, Royal Society for the Prevention of Accidents motorcycle group, who the banter riders in North Devon. Mark's gone on to do quite a few other qualifications as a motorcycle instructor, the CBT. Yeah, he's very qualified. He's also a motorcycle vlogger. www.epicmotorcycleadventures.com. It's also on YouTube. He's done many video vlogs on his motorcycle and trips to Spain and Portugal, Scotland and Wales. Worth having a look. Look him up. I think everyone has their own angle, you know. No one is really trying to copy each other or take each other's viewers, I guess. It's like I am just myself. I enjoy the Dharma and I enjoy the riding, so I try to do a mixture of both. The Dharma is my greatest love. Motorcycling, I also love it. They're just different, but I would say Dharma first, and then motorcycling second. I should say wife second. No, wife first. Heidi, she's precious to me as well. You know, we have so many things in our lives, don't we? It's you can't survive off any one thing. We need so much. We need to experience the dynamic of life. And it's all so fragile. The whole delicate structure of life is so fragile. It takes one thing to change and it shifts the whole dynamic. We find that in groups, don't we? You know, when there's a group of people, the dynamic is one way, and one joins or one leaves, the dynamic changes. It all points at the phenomena of that everything is connected. Everything is one, actually, oneness, but we perceive it from an individual perspective, so we think that we aren't connected, but we are. Hey, fun roads. I think. Change the damping to sport, firm up a little bit. The electronics on this bike are very sophisticated indeed. So when the electronic side of things is in sport, it basically changes the traction control to least sensitive, so it allows a certain amount of wheel spin. Also adjusts the ABS to allow more skid before it intrudes and saves your arse, basically. The more sporty function. Changes the engine mapping to allow more torque low down, so the throttle response a lot more aggressive, lower RPM. Just the whole thing just becomes much more sporty, animal-like. And then when I change to the ride mode to street, basically it drops the whole level a little bit. So street is you know, it just drops the level or increases the level of intrusion of the traction control, and reduces the same with the braking, and the same in comfort mode. When you drop it to comfort mode, it does it again, and in rain mode it allows maximum intrusion of ABS and traction control. And in addition, that level of traction control and ABS is adjusted according to the lean angle. Just incredible. So when you're leaning over, you don't want any wheel spin or allow the wheels to lock, so it adjusts it more sensitively the higher the lean angle. The old windmill look. I've been here before. Yeah. Nice lines. He's a good rider by the lines. This is advanced motorcycling. So approaching a left hand bend, he's out in position 3 near the crown or the white line, so that you can see more through the bends, also be seen, and also it gives you the added bonus of stability on a corner. So if you're on the outside of a curve of a corner, you don't have to lean the bike so much. You do have to adjust it according to hazards, so you know, if you're approaching a driveway or a junction that you couldn't see into, you would obviously give up that position for safety. And also, you know, if you're out in position 3 where he is now and there's a car coming, oncoming traffic, you obviously give up your position for safety, so you'd move over into position 2, which is in the middle where he is now. He knows he's in position 1 to allow himself better visibility through the bend. This is a good little demo of an advanced ride. Now it's in position 3 to see through on the left hand bend, you see. There's a 50 speed limit. He's adjusted his speed a little bit. Coffee and cake. Oh, there's a good example of a well ridden bike. It's harder to show that when you are in the riding seat. It's easier to demonstrate it following someone else. Anyway, it's nice to be with you all again, my friends, YouTubers, and I don't mean potatoes. My first proper wet ride in Wales, I think. I've got all the wet weather gear on, and I've got good wet weather tyres. Michelin Road Smart 5s, brilliant, best tyre I've ever had. I say that the stopping power of the 5 is as good as a brand new 4 when this is still half worn. They have a high silicone content which gives them excellent grip. You don't need to get them too hot either in order to achieve good grip. A bit corny, isn't it? I know I'm a juvenile. Just like to entertain. I just want you to be happy. Make you smile. Could all do with a few more smiles in our life, couldn't we? I know I could. Life is not easy. But it's also beautiful at times. Dee diddly dee diddly dee diddly dee dee. Where are we going? Never been down here before. Interesting. Avoid the manhole covers when it's wet. Can give you a nasty shock. Even with good tyres, they are slippery. So are white lines. When you're in a car, it doesn't matter. You've got 3 or 2 other wheels on the ground at any given time. But with the bike, you have to be more aware of the road surface. And, single track roads like this should be able to stop in half the distance so you can see ahead, obviously to allow for any oncoming traffic to be able to do the same. And also you can use the whole of the road, safe to do so, so you get over, see how he's in position 3, but you have to gauge that one on the severity of the corner, because obviously if you're in position 3 and there's a car coming, you can get caught out. So it's a matter of fine judgment. And also another thing is debris, especially this time of year, and the leaves are starting to fall. There's a lot of debris in the road, especially in the middle, and we find we tend to want to be able to either ride in the tracks that the cars that have previously passed through have made, and sort of clean. They push the water and the debris out of the way, so we tend to be choosing either the right or the left part of the road on tracks like this or lanes like this. That's quite fast. Wah! Bit of a wheelie. Bit of shit. You look like proper off-road bikes by the end of the day, aren't they? I've just treated this bike with ACF 50. It's sort of like a protective coating which takes many washes to remove in preparation for the winter and the salt and the mud and the rain. It gets dirty. This is a bitch to clean, this bike. It's got so many nooks and crannies. God, I need a pee now. Not a garden pee. Or a marrow fat processed pea. Or a dried pea. But a wet pea actually. Oh look, that's nice. Horse chestnuts. Well no, just chestnuts, not horse chestnuts. I wonder if horses do eat chestnuts, horse chestnuts. Maybe that's where the term arises. Ah, good man. Thank you very much. be interesting trip, because obviously Mark knows what I'm like to a degree, because he's seen some of my Dharma biker videos, but I don't want to be just about me preaching. You know, it's like I don't want to be a preacher. What I do like is to help people realise their own wisdom. Thank you. You can't give wisdom to people because they have to find it within themselves. Sometimes you can just point to the door, you know. Point to the door. Where's the door? The portal of wisdom. Sounds big, doesn't it? Oh, it's wet, wet, wet. Do you remember wet, wet, wet? I do. They were quite good, I suppose. Pop group. Poppy. Thank you. Hello. It's actually the heart of Abergavenny. Heading up towards the Black Guns. I lived in Wales for a bit, it was alright. I think I would appreciate it more now than I did then. Your mind changes, doesn't it, as you mature? Your perspectives change. I think you can become more appreciative as you get older, though it's not always the case. Some people become increasingly cynical, hardened as they age. I don't think it comes automatically that you become more liberated or more open-minded. In fact, I think it can be the opposite. Yeah, I've done that before. Sat nav. Yeah, sort of really connect with what I was talking about yesterday, you know, how that the negativity of our world can become so compounded, the way that we view things almost becomes solid, and we start to think the world, that we are inherently bad, that other people are inherently bad, that politicians are inherently bad, that society's basically bad. But it's not true. You know, it's like I said yesterday in my little vlog on the way to Tiverton, if you look at yourself with any in any depth through meditation or self-reflection, you eventually find your heart of basic goodness, that, you know, a tender, soft and vulnerable heart. And once you realise that, you also have to acknowledge that that is also inherent in other people, even though they might not have necessarily discovered it. You have to recognise it's there. And it's called basic goodness because it is an inherent and basic part of our nature. It's not something that we build up. It's there in spite of everything. It's there underneath everything, all the shit. all our neurosis, despite all of that, it's there. That's why it's basic. So it's fundamental first. And it gets covered up with all our fears and neurotic habits and tendencies, and you know, until you discover that, you're sort of lost in this, what they call setting sun mentality. Where you just think everything is shit. And I think, you know, as you become older and that sort of view, setting sun view, becomes more and more compounded and it becomes solid, you know. This is why people become so cynical, fucked off basically. They think that is reality and it isn't. I remember when I first heard the chants of the Shambhala Sadhana, which basically points at this. It was such a profound moment when I realised the truth of it that I cried. Because I knew that I'd been deluded all this time. And the Shambhala Sadhana basically is a way of breaking down the negative conditioning that we've been subject to. Nice overtake. Whee! So it's the antidote. Hey, I like that. It's the antidote to the poison that we've been taking. God, this is, you know, it's like when you give yourself time and space, wisdom just naturally arises. And like when I speak it sometimes, I'm like, whew, shit, where did that come from? It's just like, it's not me. It doesn't come from me. It sort of comes from somewhere, I don't know, not outside myself, but maybe deep within myself. And this is the, you know, the basic wisdom that can surface when you give it space and time. When you give yourself space and time, and you stop being so hard on yourself. Start being kinder to yourself. You just give yourself time and space for that wisdom to arise. So I love this path. It's sort of so liberating from that sort of, it liberates you from that sense of stuckness, old self, that cynical part of yourself that thinks everything is shit, and it brings in a fresh approach. It's very alive, very inspiring. It doesn't mean that you're never going to experience sadness, pain and loneliness. They're inherent parts of being a human being. You can't escape those. You know, it's just seeing things as they are. It's not trying to alter anything into a nice positive viewpoint. It's not trying to put roses on things. It's not trying to make something what it's not. It's about seeing it as it is. Oh, I love it. It's like, it's so wakeful. Oh, look at that. Beautiful tree. Yeah, it's so wakeful. So true. This is why I love the Dharma. I wouldn't even try to pronounce that. God, I feel really so fortunate. It makes me feel that I should be thankful to someone. Maybe this is where the idea of God arises from, you know? It's like that song, isn't it? Amazing Grace. That's what it feels like. Feel saved. But we don't have to put it in a box, the experience in a box, and say that it's one thing or another. Just continue to be awake. Continue to keep waking up. Truck alert. And I don't think we can underestimate our influence on others, society and the world. We don't intentionally go out to change it, but we automatically do have a profound effect on others. You know, we're in a relationship with them after all. I think when one or two individuals start to wake up, others start to wake up as well. It's almost cellular. Anyway, that's my first little Dharma talk chat of the Wales trip. The last Wales trip of this year this will be. It's October 2019. I've had quite a few this year. Very fortunate I am to be able to have so many holidays. It's nice to be out on the bike, feeling inspired, talking about the Dharma. Perfect. You know, it's like two of the things that I love doing simultaneously. And being with friends. Happy days. It's a shame you couldn't be here with us. It would have been really good. My old friend.